Today on 9 News Mornings.
Bit overwhelming, but we'll get through this.
One of the deans shot inside East High School shares his story publicly for the first time. What he says happened that day and what needs to change to keep students safe. Months after an airline meltdown stranded thousands of people around the country, the White House has a new plan to get your money back, though it might not be as simple as it seems. As people turn to renewable energy, they're tapping into one source coming from deep inside the earth. Now researchers in Colorado are trying to make that energy accessible to everyone. The Nuggets are gearing up for a big Game 5 at Ball Arena tonight, and they're already starting off the day with some good news about their star player. 9 News Mornings starts now. Well, good morning, everyone. We're taking a live look outside on this Tuesday morning at an absolutely gorgeous sunrise. Get outside today. It is going to be the warmest day of the week. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Corey Rose here with Jordan Chavez.
Yes, good morning. That truly was a beautiful sunrise. All right, it's going to be a good start to our day. We have another nice day ahead of us, but Ed, some storms could be on our way this week.
Yeah, we do have some storms in our forecast, some isolated storms this afternoon, but tomorrow we have a setup where we could see some severe weather out on the eastern plains. That means damaging winds, some maybe 1-inch hail. Not unlikely that we could see a tornado or two. So let's look at what we've got going on right now. This is what we saw overnight. All along I-76, we saw showers and thunderstorms. They've moved out. Look at all the lightning goes with them. A lot of residual moisture in that area, so we will see an isolated storm or two back again today over the northeast. Right now, clear skies, 43 degrees. A pretty nice morning going in the Mile High City. So we take a look at our high today, 78. That's a full 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Only isolated late day storms, but enjoy it. Tomorrow, Wednesday, 75 degrees. Storms late in the day could reach severe levels. We're keeping an eye on that. Thursday, 65 degrees with a chance for late day storms. 66 on Friday. And then on Saturday and again on Sunday, we're in the low 60s with a chance for storms each day, especially on Mother's Day, where we have cloudy skies and kind of a chilly day. But at least today it looks pretty nice. And Erica, as far as traffic goes, so far so good?
Yeah, we're getting things off to a pretty quiet start right now. Ed, we want to get you started with a look from Sky 9 at this hour. They're over I-25 and Colfax. Actually, a little bit hard to see the interstate from here, but it doesn't look like it's too busy. Let's go ahead and bring you to our CDOT camera this morning. This is 76 and Federal, where things, again, very, very quiet as far as volume goes. Now, there is one spot Denver police are investigating an earlier crash. They've got 17th Avenue closed both directions. At Federal, they are detouring traffic in that area, but that's going to be a spot that you want to avoid if you can. We're not getting any word when things are going to fully reopen there. Both sides of 225, though, are in the green. You're looking at a 10-minute ride between I-70 and I-25 right now, and still no major problems heading into Commerce City on westbound 76, but it does look like that eastbound side of 270 starting to slow right around York Street.
Erica, thank you. Wayne Mason is one of the East High School deans who was shot inside the school back in March. The student who shot him needed daily pat-downs in order to enter the school. 9 News
reporter Brianna Fernandez joins us live now outside DPS headquarters. And Brianna, we are hearing from Dean Mason for the first time since the shooting, and he says the school system needs to change.
Yeah, we are hearing from Dean Mason for the first time, and he says that there were red flags that needed to be addressed way before March 22nd, which is the day that him and another dean were shot by 17-year-olds at East High School. Now, according to Dean Mason, a student told staff that the 17-year-olds had a gun in class weeks before the shooting in March. Before someone could search him, he ran away. Dean Mason doesn't know when the 17-year-olds came back to East High School after that incident, but Mason remembers seeing him at the school the day before the shooting. Now recovering, Mason's sharing his story publicly for the first time and revealing new details about what happened that day. Take a listen.
Eric came up and Eric said, I will take him back. Eric took Austin back into room 129, our office. Eric called for the AP again. The AP didn't answer. Eric called for safety. The safety officers didn't answer. Shortly after that, Eric was yelling in the radio, Wayne, Wayne, help me, help me.
A lot of new details that were revealed by Dean Mason. Now, he says that Dean Mason, as well as the other dean, were not responsible for these daily pat-downs, which is why now they're calling for the school district to make some changes when it comes to these daily pat-downs. Corey, Jordan.
Brianna, so Dean Mason is recovering. Is he back to work yet?
Not yet, but he says he loves what he does. He wants to go back to school, and of course, he wants to see his kids. That's the most important part.
Yeah, well, we're glad he's doing well. Brianna, thank you. Another person is joining the race for the at-large seat on the Denver School Board, Kwame Spearman.
He is the only candidate right now challenging incumbent Aontae Anderson. Spearman dropped out of the mayoral race a few weeks before the election and then stepped away from his job as CEO from Tattered Cover to focus on politics. There are 2 at-large seats, but Anderson's is the only one up for election this year. So whoever wins could have a key voice in how the district addresses safety and violence in schools, along with declining enrollment.
The conservative majority on Douglas County School Board will not settle a lawsuit over how they fired their last superintendent. The minority members of the board accused the other members of deciding to fire Corey Wise last year in private conversations, leaving out their counterparts on the board and the public. A man who lives in Dougco sued, saying it violated Colorado's open meetings law. The board considered settling the lawsuit, but one of the conditions of the settlement was they would have to admit they broke the law. So the majority voted to reject the settlement 4-3. The minority members said continuing the legal fight was a waste of money. It's already cost $250,000.
Hundreds of migrants just arrived in Denver, and right now they're staying in a parking garage. The people are from Venezuela. They say they don't have much food, and they've been sleeping on the ground there for days. The city's using the garage as a processing center to help get new migrants into shelters. In March and April, they took in 20 to 30 people a day. Now more than 200 people are arriving each day, and it's taking days to help them all.
No se duerme bien porque uno está acostumbrado a dormir en su cama, a cambio ahí está durmiendo en su cartón.
Mira, hasta ahora no nos han dado nada. Solamente vino alguien, nos dio una galletita y eso es lo que hemos comido.
City leaders say they are providing food when they can, and other organizations are trying to help. Most of the migrants are already in contact with immigration officials, and they're just waiting for their papers or bus tickets to leave Denver. The city told us people can leave the garage to stay in a shelter or find food if they have connections or money. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock and Democratic Governor Jared Polis are now asking the federal government for more help. They're expecting even more people to start arriving in Denver after the end of Title 42 on Thursday, which has been limiting how many migrants can come into the U.S.
1 month after a deadly fire at an apartment complex, some of the people who lived there are asking a judge to stop their landlord from making repairs. Some people had to jump from their balconies to escape the fire at the Ivy Crossings apartments off Quebec and Iliff. One person sadly died. Documents show the fire marshal with South Metro Fire told management the building was violating the fire code nearly 2 months before the fire happened. Now some of the people who live in the building say the repairs their landlord is making could actually cover up what happened there. Fire investigators say people caused the fire, but they're not sure if it was intentional.
A woman from Colorado Springs will spend the rest of her life in prison for killing her 11-year-old stepson in their home 3 years ago. The jury found Letitia Stout guilty. On January 27, 2020, Stout shot and stabbed Gannon. She then put his body in a suitcase, drove to Florida, and tossed it over a bridge. Stout's attorney argued she was legally insane when she attacked Gannon and should be found not guilty by reason of insanity. Well, the jury disagreed. Gannon's parents spoke about the pain they have felt the past 3 years.
I miss you, Gannon, and I love you to the moon and back again. I know every day you're with me and your sisters, but that will never be taken away. The ache that I have for you.
After the jury's verdict, the judge sentenced Stout to the mandatory life in prison without the possibility of parole. Stout chose not to speak before she was sentenced.
This morning, memorials are growing for the people who were killed in that mass shooting at a mall in Texas. And now we are learning more about the people who sadly died that day. 20-year-old Christian LaCour was killed. He was working as a security guard at the time of the shooting. He was known as a dedicated student. Ashwara Thadikonda was an engineer who lived in a nearby city. Her entire family lives in India. She was with a friend at the outlet mall when that shooting happened. Her friend was injured in the shooting and is currently in the hospital. The youngest killed was 3-year-old James Cho. He was with his parents, Q and Cindy. Both of them were also killed. They were at the mall to exchange clothes for their 6-year-old son, William, who is the only member of the family to survive this shooting. He is now recovering in the hospital. 2 elementary school students, Daniela and Sofia Mendoza, also died. They were in 2nd and 4th grade. Texas DPS identified 32-year-old Elio Cumana Rivas as a victim as well. We are also learning more about the shooter.
A U.S. Army spokeswoman says that he had entered the Army but was kicked out after 3 months without finishing initial entry training. That spokeswoman says that he was terminated either because of a physical or mental condition. And according to NBC News, a social media page that appears to belong to the shooter shooter shows extremist beliefs and posts attacking women, Jewish people, and minorities. Police say those posts are part of their investigation, but have not said anything about a possible motive.
And one thing you want to know about our weather today are the stats. Going for a high of 78 degrees. That's a full 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Now the record high, 90 from 2018, and the record low, 27 from 1946.
Ed, thank you. A look at the drive, 270 and York Street at this hour, where we are beginning to see that eastbound side of the interstate there slow down. Big picture, not terrible, but one thing to be mindful of, Denver police are investigating an earlier crash. They've got 17th Avenue closed at Federal, and they are directing traffic at that area right now.
Jokic, boy, trying to rip it away from Matt Ishbia, and then the little shove. Oh, wow. Boy, a little bit of maybe a flop from Ishbia there.
A fine, but no suspension. The NBA docking the Joker $25,000 for, quote, making improper contact with a fan. And with that, we move from Game 4 to Game 5, a home game for the Nuggets.
We have to do our job. We can't be just reliant upon our fans. We have to do our job in terms of playing better across the board, coaching better, playing better, whatever it may be. But yeah, the guys are excited. We feel that we went there and we let go of a golden opportunity to steal one in Phoenix. So they did their job, give them credit. They're a very good team with two great players, and now we have an opportunity to retake control of the series tomorrow night.
Which is now tonight. Finished with baseball, just 2 runs scored in the Rockies-Pirates game. Unfortunately, Pittsburgh scored both. Pirates take it 2-0. Have a great day.
I'm excited about the game tonight for the Nuggets. I'm happy that the Joker's playing. $25,000 fine is not that big of a deal for the Joker.
Drop in the bucket for him, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think this is going to really light a fire under him for tonight. I mean, not only are they at home court, that we are already kind of expecting some pretty good energy from them, but now, you know, they've got a little bit more reason to fight tonight. And
credit to Ishbia. He did say that he did not want to see anyone suspended for it. So.
Yes. Good on him there.
Yes. Go Nuggets.
Especially because it benefits us.
Yeah.
Well, there's one kind of renewable energy that scientists say could solve a lot of problems, but the challenge is getting it to people who can use it.
And there's a new plan that would make airlines pay up when they cancel or delay flights. What that could mean for your next time that you travel, coming up.
9 News Traffic, sponsored by Furniture Row. Quality, selection, and value. Shop in-store or online at FurnitureRow.com. News Weather, sponsored by Carrier Colorado. The future of home comfort is here.
Well, as the climate warms, the need for clean, renewable energy grows. There have been huge strides in solar, wind, even wave energy. But as Keely Chalmers explains, researchers here in Colorado are focusing on a much more hidden form of renewable energy, which comes from deep inside our Earth.
When you think of renewable energy, the first things that likely come to mind are solar and wind. But there's another source of clean energy that comes from deep within our very own Earth. It's called geothermal.
So geothermal means heat from the ground.
Amanda Kolker and a team of researchers at the National Renewable Energy Laboratory in Golden are working on ways to make that always available heat available to everyone.
We all know that the Earth gets hotter as you go deeper into the core. Is actually the surface of the core is actually the same temperature as the surface of the sun.
Large-scale geothermal power plants have been providing power for more than a century, but currently they can only exist in areas where there are sources of hot water closer to the surface. Think geysers or hot springs.
So the way that geothermal has worked for over a century now is you bring up hot fluids via wells. From reservoirs within the Earth.
Those hot fluids produce steam that runs a turbine, which then runs a generator producing power. As you see, you need that water before you can do anything. So Kolker and her team are inventing ways to bring that water to areas that don't have it and make the process much more small scale.
So some technologies we're looking at is creating geothermal reservoirs underground.
They've also found ways to tap into lower temperature Earth layers to produce energy, therefore reducing the need to drill so far down, capitalizing on the natural heat from the Earth, a source of energy that is not only clean, but always renewing itself. Keely Chalmers, 9 News.
Governor Jared Polis recently launched the Heat Beneath Our Feet initiative to encourage renewable geothermal energy in Colorado. And we just learned last month that 11 communities around the nation will receive support from the federal government to install community geothermal in their communities. Carbondale, Colorado is one of them.
And as far as our weather goes, we have a nice mild day coming our way. We could be close to 80 or at 80 for a lot of the Eastern Plains locations. Look at the Flatirons right now live on Boulder. Pretty conditions with no clouds in the sky and 43 degrees. We did see some showers and thunderstorms over northeastern Colorado. They've moved out of the state right now. But because there's some moisture around here, residual moisture, we'll see a little afternoon heating. We're going with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm, basically isolated in nature. Overnight, this is Wednesday at 1 a.m. We could see a few storms rumble through. And then tomorrow, more widespread storms, and some of these could be heavy. Let's take a look. As you see, enhanced over Kansas and Oklahoma today. Marginal for the eastern plains of Colorado and general as far as the storms go and chances for severe weather. But tomorrow, look how the enhanced moves into the eastern plains of Colorado. Greeley, Denver are included in this. And boy, those enhanced would mean severe weather, which could mean 1-inch hail, damaging winds, and a possible isolated tornado. So we'll have to keep that in mind for tomorrow. We could use the rain, though. Red flag warning for high fire danger continues over south central Colorado, and that continues for 11 o'clock to 7 p.m. for today. 70s, 80s, a 90-degree reading. That's why we have that high fire danger with all those warm temperatures. 50s and 60s over the east, the mountains, and out to the west. We see temperatures in the 70s and the low 80s. So today, partly cloudy skies, isolated late storms, 78 degrees. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy skies with scattered storms and 51. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, showers and storms, some possibly severe, and 75 for the high. 65 on Thursday. We start to cool it off. More of the same on Friday with a chance for storms. Saturday, 63. Sunday, Mother's Day, 60 degrees with a chance for storms. Monday, we're at 68. And Tuesday, an isolated storm and back into the low 70s.
And we do want to check in on your commute at this hour. Really not a bad start overall as we check in on your drive. Looks like we're taking a Sky 9 shot here. Let's go ahead and switch over to our CDOT camera at this hour. This is 270 and York Street. If you're going to be traveling this way, eastbound lanes are slowing just a hair. As we look at the big picture, though, really just seeing mostly green. Denver police, however, are investigating an earlier crash in the area of 17th Avenue and Federal. 17th closed both directions. At Federal, police are directing traffic through that stretch and asking you to avoid the area. Right now, you're looking at an 11-minute travel time on that eastbound side of 270 between I-25 and I-70. Traveling on the westbound side, actually slower, up to a 14-minute drive, and you've got the red light between I-70 and I-25. If you're going to be traveling on I-25 between the tech center and downtown, still no issues. 14-minute commute both ways, and we're in good shape on I-70. 9-minute ride or quicker between I-25 and 225.
All right, Erica, thank you. After multiple instances of mass flight delays and cancellations, the Biden administration is now proposing a new rule to help you when you fly. It would require airlines to compensate you when they cancel or delay flights. This morning, we are asking, should airlines be required to compensate for canceled flights when it's within their control? Yes or no? Our poll is live right now on 9news.com/vote now. And while you're voting, here are the details of that plan. A White House official says this new rule means airlines would foot the bill for, quote, controllable cancellations or delays. That includes giving passengers money for meals, hotels, and rebooking in some instances. The proposal would also establish what a controllable delay or cancellation actually means. The goal is to hold airlines responsible for things like staffing shortages. Mandates like this already exist in Canada and the European Union. Airlines say this would just mean the extra costs would end up meaning more expensive tickets.
Airfares are going to rise, plain and simple. It also creates a one-size-fits-all solution that doesn't allow our carriers to compete with each other.
So this plan would not be in effect for this summer's travel rush, but we still want to know what you think. 90% of you right now this morning saying that, yes, you do believe airlines should be responsible for this. I think I would like to talk to the other 10% because I think it might be hinging on the fact that if nothing goes wrong with your flight and you ended up paying more for that ticket, well, that's just out of your wallet now.
Right, because that's essentially what's going to happen. Like, I get that we want to be compensated if they cancel it and it's, you know, in their control, obviously not weather or something like that. But that price is going to be passed on to the customer. You know, they're not going to dig into their profits. They're just going to pass it along. But it might mean more accountability
as well for the airline.
And I can't speak for all instances because maybe you've had a bad experience. I will say every time I've had a situation like this, I've been able to go up to the desk and they'll give me a voucher or something, usually anyway, to make up for that.
They usually do it right. Keep weighing in.
At least.
Let us know. 9news.com/vote now. Coloradans are really good at giving to charity, but how do you know your money is really going to the right place? Some tips coming up next on 9 News Morning.
Every night on 9 News, we bring you the stories that impact Colorado, whether it's the safety of our schools.
We begin tonight with the collective action of Colorado's children.
Elections that shape our future.
Welcome to Denver's most important election night in a decade.
Or when our community needs answers. Steve Steger, after more than a year of reporting, looked at the challenges of making sure our wireless emergency alert system works.
We deliver the news you need.
When you get one of these messages in the public, read the whole thing.
End your day with 9 News at 9 and 10.
And as far as our day goes today, it's going to be a pretty nice one. Take a look at how we're starting out. This is the Lookout camera on Lookout Mountain, and 46 degrees right now. So a pleasant morning. We did see some showers and thunderstorms rumble through the northeast last night, and they could be back again today simply because there's a lot of moisture in the air out there. So 78 degrees today, maybe an isolated storm. Real nice day. 75 tomorrow, but then as the day goes on, we get cooler with a greater chance for storms. Some could be severe. 65 on your Thursday with a chance for storms. Friday, 66 degrees. We start the weekend with 63 on Saturday with a chance for storms. Better chance for storms Sunday with cloudy skies and a high of just 60 degrees.
All right, Ed, thank you. Well, Coloradans are pretty generous, and when it comes to charitable giving, the Better Business Bureau says doing your homework is key. That is especially true to make sure the organization you're giving to is legit.
The first thing you should do is make sure they're registered with the IRS and registered with the Colorado Secretary of State office, just to make sure it's a legitimate organization and not a bogus organization. And then in general, you need to take a look at their website and make sure it all adds up. I think reach out to them, make sure somebody's answering the phone, talk to them, understand that they know what they're doing, and ask them if they have a publicly available financial report, because then you can really understand where the money's going.
Having a local office is also beneficial so you can drop in and check things out. And one other red flag, those high pressure pitches.
Well, any legitimate charity, they're going to take your money tomorrow as much as they will today.
The Better Business Bureau also runs Give.org, which reviews charities based on things like governance and financial transparency. The site includes information around 10,000 charities nationwide.
And I'm Matt Renew near Vail Pass, where work has started up again on a major project that will realign the interstate and make it wider, while also eventually adding a whole new lane, all so that they can make this stretch of road a lot safer and keep it open more when there are accidents. We'll give you the dirt on that story coming up on 9 News.
News Traffic is sponsored by Groove Auto. Groove Auto believes in the power of yes. Learn more at grooveauto.com.
I remember.
Today on 9 News Mornings, the number of fentanyl-related deaths has surged in recent years. New research shows teenagers may be at more risk than we thought. The legislative session is over and some last-minute bills made it through. The change you'll see to your ballot in November. Just 5 mobile home parks remain in Denver on sought-after land. Now they're all at risk for being sold.
The clock has officially started ticking for residents.
This morning, we hear from one community fighting to keep their home in their hands. And a lot of changes are coming to this mountain pass. We'll get a look inside the effort to make the most dangerous stretch of road in our state safer. 9 News Mornings starts now. And we'll get to all of those stories coming up in just a few minutes. But first, a live look outside this morning. Soak in those blue skies as long as you can, because we have some weather changes coming for us this week.
Yeah, that Greeley UNC campus looking really green this morning. We have another nice day ahead of us. Ed Green is out in the backyard tracking some storms, though, later this week. Hey, Ed.
Good morning. Yeah, we do have some severe weather that could be coming our way, but not until tomorrow. As I look overhead, it's nothing but blue skies and sunshine. As you take a look at our latest satellite satellite picture, you can see we did have some storms overnight, and you can see it's just all moving out of the east, and it's leaving us with mostly clear skies around here, and that's what we've got right now with 43 degrees. But look at the humidity, 93%. So there's humidity around. Could see an isolated storm as a result later on this afternoon, but not before we hit a high around 78 degrees, 10 above normal. 75 tomorrow, and then some more storms come in. Some could be severe. On Thursday, 65 degrees with a chance for storms. Friday, 66 degrees. Chance for storms. More the same on Saturday, a high of 63, and then Sunday, cloudy, cooler, chance for storms for our Mother's Day.
Ed, thank you. At this hour, we are taking a live look at our CDOT camera, I-25 and 58th Avenue, where you can certainly see lanes headed toward us southbound are just a little bit busier. The big picture not looking terrible. A couple colorful spots. One thing, I do want to mention to you that we are dealing with a closure. Denver police are investigating an earlier crash. 17th Avenue is closed both directions at Federal. If you're going to be traveling through the Commerce City area along 270, you're looking at a 10-minute ride on that eastbound side. So you've got the yellow light. That westbound side even slower, 14 minutes. So not a great situation there. You could always take westbound I-70 as a workaround, but overall, no major problems on I-25 between downtown and the Tech Center. You've got a 16-minute ride or quicker both ways.
All right, Erica, thank you. Well, today is Fentanyl Awareness Day, a day to bring attention to the impact fentanyl has all across the country. Now, according to the DEA, fentanyl is involved in more deaths of Americans under 50 than any other cause of death. And now, new research shows the number of kids dying has gone up a lot. According to the journal JAMA Pediatrics, the number of children and teens who have died from fentanyl was 30 times higher in 2021 than in 2013. And half of those deaths happened between 2020 and 2021. The research shows the vast majority of those deaths are teenagers between 15 years old and 19 years old. Doctors say for that age group, the deaths are related to recreational drug use. But with younger kids, deaths are more likely to happen when drugs are left within reach. Some local health departments and nonprofits in Colorado offer the overdose reversal drug naloxone or Narcan for free. Many pharmacies also have naloxone. And in Denver, you can request fentanyl test strips. We do have all of these resources on our website right now for you to check out, 9news.com.
It's been 2 weeks since someone shot and killed 2 employees at a restaurant in Denver, and now the business is about ready to reopen. American Elm shut down last month when someone shot and killed Emerald Von Daler and Ignacio Gutierrez Morales. Police say the motive may have been a robbery, but they haven't arrested anyone. The restaurant is set to reopen on Friday for Mother's Day weekend, and then they'll restart their normal hours next Thursday.
This morning, we are getting a better look at the aftermath of the HVAC collapse at the Gaylord Rockies Resort that sent several people to the hospital. This is video from the pool after the HVAC system fell down. In total, 6 people were hurt and 2 have life-threatening injuries. Aurora Fire says it doesn't have the power to investigate what happened, so the resort is doing it itself. So far, we know a company called RK Mechanical says it helped install the air conditioning system. That company shared a statement saying they are cooperating with the Gaylord to figure out what went wrong. The Gaylord said it would bring in experts to investigate, but didn't get back to us today when we asked for more specifics.
Bike thefts are becoming a real problem in Denver. This year, more than 570 bikes have been reported stolen. Police have only found 13 of them, and 8 people have been arrested. Now police are trying to improve these numbers, so they're starting a new digital bike registration and tracking program. It's called 529 Garage. You enter information like your bike's serial number, make, model, and pictures. Police say that will help them track it. They're also offering free tamper-resistant stickers at DPD district stations that can be put on your bike, helping to identify it if it is in fact stolen and found somewhere or sold somewhere. DPD says it's already put more than 17,000 of these registered bikes into the new system.
There will soon be new rules in Denver that limit how long cars can be parked on public streets. And some people are worried it will really hurt those who live in their cars. The city council is hoping it will help manage parking in high demand areas. Before the vote, councilors made adjustments based on concerns from homeless advocates. One of the changes adds a 48-hour waiting period before certain vehicles get towed, longer than what was originally on the table. But advocates say the plan will still make life harder for people who live in their cars.
When you depend on your vehicle as residents, everything is in your vehicle. That is your place of safety. That is everything you are.
It adds to the stress and trauma of experiencing homelessness. And that's a big one. Your home has just been taken who knows where.
Another one of the changes council made clarifies the definition of a junker, which is a vehicle that's extensively damaged and unsafe. Advocates are concerned about what this will put more expenses on people who may not have been able to get their car fixed right away and now have to pay to get their car out of the impound as well.
The legislative session is over, and it ended with one of the biggest setbacks of Governor Jared Polis's career. Democrats abandoned the governor's housing bill in the final hours of the session. The bill to overrule local jurisdictions and force more density in urban areas was strongly opposed by municipal leaders. Republicans, who have been powerless to stop any Democratic priority where Dems stayed united, walked out of the House in protest. But there are so few of them, the Democratic supermajority was able to continue the session.
And Democrats did pass a bill setting up a ballot measure on property taxes. It will ask voters if they want to give up part of future refunds under the Taxpayer Bill of Rights in exchange for lower property taxes. Coloradans will vote on that in November. If it passes, another bill on the governor's desk would then increase next year's Tabor refunds higher for lower income earners. Republicans say it's an effort to get rid of Tabor refunds altogether over time. Right now, just 5 mobile home parks are left in Denver, and because of gentrification, they are at risk of disappearing, leaving residents with little to no affordable options to relocate.
9 News reporter Courtney Yoon is live now in Denver's Westwood neighborhood, where one of those last remaining parks is now up for sale. Courtney, people there are trying to save it.
Yeah, good morning, Corey and Jordan. That's absolutely right. Neighbors here are taking a stand. They're trying to create a community land trust or a co-op that would put the ownership of the land where their homes sit in the hands of residents. Now, they're hopeful that this can happen, but they still need to raise millions of dollars to purchase the park before someone else does.
Having community own their own land and housing is really the vision.
Capital City Mobile Home Park is up for sale again, putting 76 families, some who've been here 60 years, at risk for losing their homes.
Una comunidad que no debe desaparecer. Una comunidad que seguimos adelante en el futuro de Denver.
Eduardo Castañeda has lived here 16 years and refuses to give up on preserving and protecting his community.
La comunidad estamos organizada. Nosotros necesitamos apoyo por las asociaciones sin fines de lucro.
On April 19th, residents received a 120-day notice from the owner of the park. It's essentially a warning, letting them know someone else intends to buy it.
The clock has officially started ticking for residents.
Andrea Chiriboga-Flor with the nonprofit 9 to 5 Colorado says this means residents have 4 months to take action. They need to get a majority of residents on board to purchase the park themselves and to make a competitive offer.
Fundraising $11.5 million is no small feat.
She says they already have the resident support and now just need to secure a funder.
Taking land and housing off the speculative market forever is really the only way to create affordable, permanent, sustainable housing in a long-term way.
Chiriboga-Flor says residents can apply for up to $5 million through Denver's HOST program. They're in talks with other national funders who specifically want to help support grassroots community ownership models.
This is historical. It's setting a precedent for other cities, other states.
Nosotros queremos seguir siendo parte de esta historia para el condado y la comunidad de Westwood para el estado de Colorado.
Back in November, Denver City Council passed an 18-month moratorium on redeveloping mobile home parks. In March, they changed a zoning code that allows residents to be able to replace their mobile homes. Castañeda and Chiriboga-Flor say these policy changes add layers of protection to mobile home parks. They hope that their movement and other ones successful and similar to what they're trying to do here can help create more affordable and sustainable housing here in Colorado.
All right, well, we'll certainly be keeping a close eye on what happens with that. Courtney, thank you.
And one thing you want to know about the weather today is temperatures are going to be the warmest of the week. Look at the 70s and 80s along the Front Range today. Maybe a late day shower or thunderstorm, only isolated in nature. Tomorrow a bit cooler, but still pretty nice with temperatures in the 70s and a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Some could be severe.
At this hour, we are seeing things get just a little bit busier through the metro. Not terrible. This is I-25 and 58th Avenue as far as travel times go on I-25 between downtown and the Denver Tech Center. You've got about a 5 or 6 minute backup southbound. Not terrible on the northbound side. 17-minute drive between the Denver Tech Center and downtown.
And I'm Matt Renew, live on Vail Pass, where CDOT is halfway through a 6-year-long project to try to make this stretch of road a lot safer and keep it from closing as often as it does. I'll tell you about all the construction they're doing up here and how it's going to help when we start work on that story coming up on 9 News.
Always look at that sign, you know. Come on, own your...
End your day with 9 News at 9 and 10.
Well, the Nuggets are back home at Ball Arena for a big Game 5 tonight against the Suns. The series is all tied up at 2 games apiece. But good news, the Joker will in fact get to play tonight. The NBA is fining him for, quote, making improper contact with a fan when he tried to get the ball back in their last game. That fan was, of course, Suns owner Matt Ishbia, who was not punished, so he will have to pay $25,000.
We now know when we'll find out the Broncos' schedule for the season. The NFL is releasing them on Thursday. We already knew who the Broncos are playing, just not when those games will be. This is the first time the Broncos have played the AFC East since 2020. They went 3-1 against the division, beating the Patriots, Jets, and Dolphins.
And Miles is in the running for the Mascot Hall of Fame. Voting starts on Sunday. He is up against 17 other mascots, including a few from the NFL. The Bears, Texans, Jaguars, Falcons, and Seahawks mascots are all also nominated, and I've gotten really into how this competition works. So here are the rules. Any mascot that receives at least 60% of the vote from all the ballots cast will be elected into the Mascot Hall of Fame.
All right, Broncos country, let's go.
I think we can rally 60% for Miles.
Yes, Miles deserves it. He's an awesome mascot.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let's check your forecast now with Ed. Hey, friend.
Good morning. Yeah, we're going to have a nice day today. Temperatures getting into the upper 70s and low 80s over northeastern Colorado. Look at the mountain cam right now. Look at all the blue skies and sunshine they have up there, as they do in Fort Collins. And right down here in front of the 9 News building, we've got some sunshine, blue skies, 43 degrees at this hour. We did see some showers and thunderstorms, and really they kind of traveled right along I-76 all the way into northeastern sections of the state, and then they have moved on out, and we're seeing lots of sunshine today. But because there's that moisture from those storms around here, we'll see an isolated shower or thunderstorm later on. And then look at Wednesday night. Here it is at midnight on Tuesday into Wednesday. You can see some showers and thunderstorms. And then Wednesday, we do see some heavier showers and more widespread conditions, and some could be severe. So we're watching that very carefully. Kansas and Oklahoma, they'll be the ones with the enhanced chance of severe weather today. We are just marginal or general. But tomorrow that changes. Look at how the enhanced moves over the eastern plains of Colorado. Better chance for storms here, some with severe possibilities, marginal and then general as you move further west. We need that rain because we got a red flag warning for gusty wind from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. today for high fire danger. Here are those temperatures, 70s, 80s, even a 90-degree reading over the eastern plains. That's where we got that fire danger. 50s and 60s for the high country, 70s and 80s to the west. So here's your Denver forecast for today. Partly cloudy skies, an isolated late storm, 78 degrees. And for tonight, mostly cloudy, scattered storms, and 51. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, shower storms, some could be severe, and 75. 10 degrees cooler on Thursday with a chance for storms. 66 on Friday, 63 on Saturday, 60 on Sunday. Cloudy skies, chance for storms, 68 on your Monday. And then Tuesday, we finally have less chance for storms and more chance for warmth.
Ed, thank you. We want to get you started with a live look from Sky 9 over 70 and Wadsworth at this hour. Let's see how things are moving. Not bad at all out here. Very light volume on I-70 through this area, so we'll take it. Let's go ahead and bring it to our CDOT camera. This is I-25 and I-70 this morning. Southbound lanes of I-25 certainly starting to slow down into the metro, getting onto the interstate a little bit tough as well. That northbound side, though, was moving along just fine. As you get ready to travel between downtown and the Denver Tech Center, travel times both directions about the same. 20 minutes southbound, about 19 northbound. So you're dealing with about a 5 or 6 minute slowdown right now on both sides of I-25 through that stretch. As far as problems go, Denver police still investigating an earlier crash. They have 17th Avenue shut down both ways at Federal, and they are redirecting traffic through that stretch. I am tracking a little bit of a slowdown on southbound I-25 here approaching Hamden, and in addition, a southbound 225 delay here from Iliff all the way down toward Yosemite Street. You're dealing with about a 9-minute slowdown. Northbound from Iliff up toward Alameda, we're slowing a bit, and then into Commerce City right now, you've got about a 20-minute travel time, so it's called about a 9-minute backup with delays approaching 88th Avenue down to about Vasquez on westbound 76. I-70 along Vail Pass has more accidents than any other place in the state, and CDOT is starting up work to make it safer. Our man in the mountains is along Vail Pass. Matt, this is the third year of construction, and it's just halfway done.
You're right, Erica. This is a big project with CDOT straightening some dangerous curves, widening the interstate, adding a lane, putting up wildlife fencing. They're even doing work on the bike path in this area. All of it designed to make this area of interstate a lot safer and to reduce the number of times Vail Pass has to close. Driving on Vail Pass.
It's a 50-foot wide wildlife underpass.
CDOT resident engineer John Kronholm has seen a lot of changes.
We're standing on the new alignment of I-70 right here.
Thanks to a $250 million project, the largest since Vail Pass was first built.
Original Vail Pass was built in 1979.
To make this stretch of road a lot safer.
This stretch of road, about milepost 186 and 187 both have the highest crash rate per million miles of vehicles traveled in Colorado.
And why CDOT is now in its third year realigning I-70.
This will be westbound I-70 right where we're standing.
Straightening out twisting curves, adding 5 wildlife underpasses, widening the road, including 2 bridges.
And then you can see where it's going to punch right into the hillside.
And eventually adding a 3rd lane to reduce the accidents here.
With everything all together, with the 3rd lane, all the ITS components and straightening out the roadway, we anticipate about a 40% reduction in crashes up here on Vail Pass.
It's a lot to change with years of work still ahead.
We've got about 3 years of construction left. We anticipate the project running through the end of 2026.
And why John says there will be even more changes down the road.
Yeah, sure. There's more to see.
One of the big changes that will affect drivers, at least for this week, and it's the final week of blasting, are blasting closures between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. in the evening. Those are 30 minutes. But after this week, they'll be done with that blasting. The impact should be pretty minimal for all the work that they're doing up here. They're also realigning that bike path, though. They moved it further from the road and lowered it so there'll be less road noise. Erica, Jordan, and Corey, that new bike path should be ready to open up by Memorial Day, and is just one of the many things they're doing up here.
Yeah, it's great for bikers. It's going to be great for drivers. The wildlife underpasses, I love it. Matt, I do have to mention one thing. We had a viewer write in, Brent, and he said, wow, Matt's wearing a hat. Last hit, you had a hard hat on, and apparently he noticed it, and now you don't.
Right? You know, that hard hat is a beautiful piece of fashion accessory that I had on yesterday for the tees, but I took it off in time for the live shot right now so it wouldn't mess up the hair. It's not cold enough for that hard hat right now.
Viewers, pay attention.
Matt and a hat, giving the people what they want. Matt,
and our viewers, right? Yeah. Those viewers are so sharp. That's awesome that they noticed that.
Yeah, they really are. All right, Matt, thank you. Well, a new donut chain is coming to Colorado. What makes these different and, according to our producer, really, really good? Coming up on 9 News Mornings.
Coming up on Today, help for teens and tweens when it comes to using social media in a healthier way. We'll break down the newest guidelines and also share some of the conversations we're having with our own families. That and more later on Today.
For the 15th year in a row, no one's going to win that mansion for the Boys and Girls Club fundraiser. We've heard from viewers about the raffle being called a scam. Over on Channel 20, the BBB says it's not, but they do have advice on how to vet a nonprofit.
The civil rape and defamation case against former President Donald Trump is heading to the jury today. Trump is accused of raping E. Jean Carroll in a department store in the 90s. He denies it happening and says Carroll made everything up. Trump never testified in this case, but his lawyers say that Carroll's timeline is too vague and that Trump argues he's never met Carroll. In closing arguments, Carroll's attorneys pointed to evidence from her friends and used Trump's deposition to claim he has a playbook for sexual assault. Because this is a civil case, Trump will not go to jail, no matter what the jury decides.
President Joe Biden is calling for a fair deal for the Hollywood writers that are on strike. Today marks 1 week since the strike started. The writers are asking for changes now that so many shows and movies have moved to streaming. They say they aren't paid fairly given how many times people can now watch their work.
New overnight, lawmakers on Capitol Hill passed a bill setting up a ballot measure on property taxes. This is video of the state capitol. It will ask voters if they want to give up part of future refunds under the Taxpayer Bill of Rights in exchange for lower property taxes. Coloradans will vote on that in November. If it passes, another bill on the governor's desk would then increase next year's TABOR refunds higher for lower income earners. Republicans say it is an effort to get rid of TABOR refunds altogether over time. Again, this is in Colorado, not on Capitol Hill, as I previously said.
And a pretty good start to our day with lots of sunshine, blue skies. Futurecast shows we could see a few isolated showers later on this afternoon. So that's the forecast with a high of 78 degrees today, 10 above normal for this time of year. 75 tomorrow, then showers and thunderstorms move in. Some of those could be severe. And for Thursday, 65 degrees, chance for some storms. 66 on Friday, 63 on Saturday and on Sunday. 60 degrees, cloudy skies, chance for storms for Mother's Day.
Ed, thank you. Time for in other news. The annual Westminster Dog Show is happening right now in New York. It's a very glamorous time for the dogs.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. They get blow dried. They get the nails did. They get lots of treats. Lots of treats is the key, though, to make sure that they strut their stuff out there. The big award, Best in Show, is tonight. Last year, Winston, the Frenchie, won Reserve Champion. He actually won Best in Breed on Monday, so still pretty good. Seems like he might be a favorite. We're going to find out tonight. A new donut chain that Corey is very excited about is coming to Colorado. Duck Donuts started on the coast of North Carolina. It's known for its made-to-order donuts. You can customize everything, the coatings, the toppings, the drizzles. They also have donut breakfast sandwiches and donut sundaes. The first Colorado location opening in Johnstown this Saturday. We taking a field trip?
We are. Going to see Corey there for sure.
All right. More food news if you weren't hungry already. If you've ever wanted Velveeta chocolate truffles,
baby.
Now's your chance. They've got a white chocolate shell, white chocolate and bits of Velveeta on the inside, shaped like shells and cheese, and you can get them online today.
And I can't with you right
Chocolate and cheese, really good. If you ever had that combination?
Yeah, like on a charcuterie board, I guess.
Yeah, there
Thank you. Oh, next level on this side of the desk over here. That's it for us here on Channel 9. We're headed over to Channel 20. Have a great day.
Colorado, it's never been easier to get the news you need. The 9 News Plus free 24/7 live stream brings you all of 9 News' broadcasts throughout the day. Plus, breaking news as it develops, additional live weather forecasts, award-winning local original content, and daily deep dives on trending topics. Get it all on your time, live or on demand. 9 News Plus, the new streaming app from Colorado's news leader. Available now wherever you watch.